I would like to preface my speech with a seemingly naive, yet deeply introspective question. Are you happy? You might say yes, and you might say no, but I'm willing to bet that you will lean towards the latter. And I think we can all agree that every individual has different and unique standards for happiness. Now then, let me ask you a more appropriate question. What is your standard of happiness? And more importantly, what determines your standard of happiness? Through the course of sharing my stories with you, I'll tell you how I came to realize that my personal happiness was more important than mere standards set by society, and why you should consider doing the same. I would like to share the moment when I learned about the concept of relative happiness. There is a girl named Tessa in Indonesia who I sponsor. I write to her often, and she writes back to me too. Now, let's rewind to about a week after Christmas in 2014. Much to my delight, I received a letter from Tessa. Hoping she had spent a merry, happy Christmas with her family, I opened the letter. Much to my dismay, however, I came to realize that she could not spend her Christmas that one day in a whole year with her family because her parents had to go out on the streets selling water simply to make ends meet. This was a shock to the 14-year-old me. Thus, this prompted me to contemplate on the harsh and brutal realities of those who are economically less fortunate. Reflecting back in my life, I suddenly became ashamed of myself. Here I was, living a comfortable life with two loving parents, receiving a top-grade education. Yet I was too busy dwelling on things to worry and complain about. At that moment, I realized that my sense of entitlement, even something as mundane as spending time with my family, could very well be only a dream for someone else. And that someone else might not be a random African children you see on a UNICEF commercial, but very well be close to us, even at this very moment. My second story is about hunger. Several weeks ago, I watched a news segment about a child who was caught stealing a packet of instant noodles at a store. Ashamed and embarrassed, the poor girl began to cry and beg the owner for mercy. Much to my surprise, however, the owner gave her a box of instant noodles instead of admonishing her. Unaware of this girl's situation, I wondered why the owner did that. Shouldn't a responsible and socially conscious adult have seized this opportunity to reprimand and given her a moral lesson on life that stealing is wrong? Wouldn't that be better for the girl's future too? Well, it just so happened that this girl lived in abject poverty. To make matters worse, her mother had passed away a year ago because she could not afford to go to the hospital. Her father, he was rarely ever home, wandering all around the country to land a job. And she was now left with her old grandmother and a younger brother. Now, can you even imagine how destitute and hungry this girl must have been to have stolen a packet of instant noodles in broad daylight? Watching this news segment gave me an epiphany that I'm living a privileged life, and for most of the times, I don't even recognize nor appreciate it. This news helped me to reinforce the idea that happiness does not always come in as a dinner at a gourmet restaurant, but can come in as a cup of instant noodles. I think it's worth reiterating that what we consider normal and mundane within the context of entitlement could very well be a dream to someone else. If anything, I've certainly learned to posit a different perspective on such normal things in life. Even things like being able to apply to colleges to further my education. Now, I'm in no way recommending, nor even insinuating, that you should give everything you have to a charity, leave everything behind, and join the Peace Corps to fight against malaria and drought. But in the spirit of happiness and positive thinking, I do encourage all of you to join me in a collective effort to be thankful for even the smallest and the most ordinary things in life. I find happiness in being able to go to school. I find happiness in eating whatever I want for lunch. I find happiness in having a laptop. And the list could go on forever. To that end, I hereby declare and thank everyone and everything around me, as I now know their true value.